Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, the weather today didn't permit the technology to work properly, but we decided to do it this way, and we will post this for you to understand. Now, people may ask the question, why am I doing this? And as my Serenity Prayer says, I need to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Well, I've accepted already that we cannot change the mindset of the director of the film that we asked to produce for us, or who we asked to produce the film Trafficked for us. I can't change his mindset, we realize, because it's 2017, this has been going on since 2014. But I have to muster the courage so that we can set the record straight with you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, on the money that you spent, which is taxpayers' dollars, on this film, Trafficked. The film that was only shown at the film festival, twice on TV6, and you heard nothing of it after that. Well, the reason for this is that the director of the film decided, and it would have been in the public domain last year or sometime, that the film was his. Now, it's unfortunate that he went along that road because, as you know, Dependency have been on the radio for the last 15 years doing these projects. We interviewed female nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, we interviewed some males, but the idea was to do a film. When we had the last interview with the young lady at HMP Drake Hall. Now, when we returned to Trinidad and Tobago, we had to embark on a journey to find a filmmaker. Not having knowledge of the film industry, but we knew Lisa Wickham. We knew of Lisa Wickham. So I decided to approach NADAP, who was the on-air sponsor at the time with the Ministry of Health, to get permission to do this, because as our on-air sponsor, and this is government, they must ensure that what we are about to embark on in line with their mandate. So we met with Mrs. Wendy Ann Watty, who was the director at the time, and she said, okay, when she met with the communications department at the ministry, that we were given the all clear to proceed. The step after that was to look for a filmmaker. We were trying to find a filmmaker. As I said, we only knew about Lisa Wickham, so I contacted Lisa. Lisa agreed, but she had other projects doing. And mind you, what I'm saying to you is I have everything documented so that we can share it with you if need be. Lisa was busy. We waited and we waited, and unfortunately, I thought she was really taking too long because she's a busy person. So then we contacted Mr. Dion Buku. Mr. Buku was leaving the country at the time. So we had to search again. As I said, I don't have the run of the industry, so one day I flipped through the newspaper and I saw this person by the name of Sean Hodgkinson in the newspaper after receiving a prize from the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival in 2013. Deceased Marcia Henville's name was mentioned in the newspaper article. I contacted her, and she said to me, yes, she knew him, and he was a good person to engage. I said, no problem. Marcia introduced me to Sean, and we met at Westmall, the food court at Westmall, him and 4 members of his team. I introduced myself, or rather Marcia introduced me to him, and I went on to explain who I was and the program that we do. Turns out he never heard of us, fine, but I explained our mandate and what we would like to do, and he said, great idea. I asked him what would be the cost to do a project, a feature film on some of these stories, and I presented to him stories that we would have gotten over the years of our travel. Now, if you look on our Dependency Facebook page, or on my Facebook profile page, you would see where I posted a video of him being interviewed. This is after the film was completed. And listen to what he said, which is the truth he was speaking then. However, we embarked now on fundraising. being the executive producers of the project, because him being the director, we hired him. And the operative word here is hire Sean Hodgkinson to produce a film for us so that we could now take our program to another level, which was visual aid or teaching tool, if you will. He said $600,000, and we made the rounds trying to get funding, and we got funding from various state agencies and government ministries. The project took some time because the funds took a little time in coming in, but eventually we got $945,000, all of which was handed over to Sean Hodgkinson. We have vouchers, we have receipts, we have signed check vouchers to prove this. As a matter of fact, only 2 checks were made out to us, one from NADAP for $100,000, one from NLCB for $100,000. He has both. I have both check vouchers with his signature receiving $100,000 each from each entity. Excuse me. All the other checks were made out to him on our request for various reasons. I wanted to show transparency. Natasha and I travel a lot, so I didn't want to be out of the country and he didn't have access to the money. But I had to take him to these meetings because nobody knew of this guy, starting with Mrs. Wendy and Watty. We got these funds based on the popularity of Dependency. Nobody knew him. As you know, we've been on the air for 15 years. We have 14 awards. So this is not an idle boast. It's a brand that was built from ground up. Because of my problem that I experienced with crack cocaine, time in prison, we came up with this idea for Dependency. After we got the funds, the film was completed. Now, Mr. Hodgkinson did a draft contract for us. And I'm going to share that contract with you. And this is where things went haywire. Because we should have had this contract verified and checked by an attorney, but having to raise the funds and the time spent raising the funds, of course, and they producing the film, we neglected to do same, but this was the draft contract that Mr. Hodgkinson sent. And it goes like this. This was sent to us on the 11th of the 12th month, 2013. And it said, "Hi everyone, I'm also available to meet. I would say we can set up a meeting, the sooner the better. January is around the corner. Perhaps we need to tweak the proposal to indicate what benefits would be accrued the potential sponsor, like opening credits, etc., etc." He went on to apologize to Garth about feeling left out of the pre-casting process. I don't know why we were left out, but he said it was unintentional. I honestly didn't think that you would be interested in seeing people sit around the table and read lines from a script, but I do apologize. This is from Mr. Hodgkinson. Now, as the executive producer, I was supposed to be there, but unfortunately we weren't. I think that once we got things sorted out on the Kings, the actors have learned the lines, we will have a read all together. Now, to get to the point about what we're supposed to benefit from this. Again, remember, we hired this gentleman. So I'm throwing out these ideas, so please feel free to comment and add or subtract. Garth's credit would be created by. This would be the opening title, and Garth would be listed as executive producer. Forgetting Natasha, of course. As Marcia and Sean have partnered with Garth to source funds, that was the idea in the beginning, never turned out like that. He wanted to also be listed as executive producer, which he did. Marcia and Sean will be credited as producer. Fair enough, this would entail the function of organizing logistics, etc., etc. Garth's expertise would be required in any scenes that require a level of authenticity, and Garth will have to work with the art director and director to achieve the look. Now, what was supposed to happen here at the end of this, Quirky Films will provide Dependency with 4 final copies of the DVD and be responsible for creating 2 edits and submitting to the film to the local station for airing. Quirky would be responsible for, of course, the subtitles and editing and all of that. All profits that is made from the airing of this film would go to Dependency. Of course, this was not honored because he received all the profits that was accrued from this film. Mind you, before we proceeded and before we got the money from National Security, I received an email from the Ministry of National Security on Wednesday, 18th June 2040. And it goes like this. Good afternoon, Mr. Sinclair. The Ministry of National Security would like to clarify a couple of questions concerning your project. And I'll just read the first line to you. Is the project production a commercial venture, and is there an expedition of profit from same? And I think it meant, well, expectation of profit from same. Is it to be marketed for financial gain? And this came from Mr. Roger Belgrave, Communications Assistant, Corporate Communications Unit at the Ministry of National Security. Of course, I would tell them no, because this is what we had told these women when we interviewed them, that the film would not be for profit. You see, I couldn't envision profiting off of people's pain. So we made that clear to Mr. Hodgkinson up front. Now here where the problem started. When the film was completed, finally, we were called to his place of residence, explained to us that the film was done. So we were really happy because it took some time, and we proceeded to his residence thinking that we had gotten the film. This was 2015. When we reached his residence, and I was expecting, as promised, that he would hand over 4 DVDs, he said, no, I can't give it to you yet. I've entered it in the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, and we cannot show it anywhere else. We were totally shocked by that, because that was not the arrangement. Yes, we spoke about film festivals and all of that, but then we think that there is a process that things should go, which is somebody hires you to do something, you complete the job, you hand over the job, and then you try to negotiate with them if you think that you have a future with the organization. He didn't do that. He entered it into the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival without our knowledge and permission. Now, we didn't know the problem with that until the following year. But I will get to that. The problem was, we now had to try and find a way to explain to our sponsors that this film would not be available until the month of September. And we found out about this in June that year. Unfortunately, we didn't have a choice. He had already entered it into the film, and he was very adamant that he was not handing it over. Now, this is what not he promised. This is not what he promised us in this draft contract that says, at the end of production, you will hand over 4 DVDs. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where the problem started. Now, to deal with the film festival will take another whole hour. The Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, that is. Because everything went wrong with us and that festival. To make a long story short, when the film festival came around, one point to note is that we've been to festivals around the world. Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival is the only film festival that we had to pay to go and see our movie. If we didn't have the money, we would not have been able to see the movie. Now, the sad part about this, Natasha wrote to them asking, and I would share that with you. Natasha wrote to the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival on the 17th of August 2015. Dear Roma, we spoke briefly on Friday. I'm Natasha Nunez, co-producer of Dependency and the wife of Garth St, one of the executive producers of the film Trafficked. The film is directed by Sean Hodgkinson and one of the selections in the local feature category. I note that the director is afforded a few tickets to the premiere of the film, but as the executive producers, we'd like to formally request 30 tickets, as we can offer the sponsors, so that we can offer the sponsors of the film. Although we had a private screening for sponsors, not everyone turned up, and the objective is to see their investment on the big screen. We feel reticent about asking them to pay for tickets to see a film they've invested in. Okay, fine, we didn't get any complimentaries for them, but we didn't get any for ourselves either. So we had to purchase tickets for the sponsors, and we had to purchase tickets for ourselves. Whereas in international film festivals, once you submit your film, you are given a pass, and that pass gives you access to all film festivals, to all movies in the festival. You don't have to pay, including yours. Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival is the only one that we had to pay to see our film at Movie Town. Nevertheless, we proceeded. Now, another problem popped up, and this is what made us realize who the individual that we're dealing with. For the night of the prize giving of the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, which of course we didn't know when it was, we were home that Sunday evening, and I heard Natasha exclaim, "Wow, Trafficked won a prize." And I said, "Really?" And we were overjoyed, because then we would have had something to boast now to the sponsors. Well, this is why it took so long. It won a prize, feel proud of your investment. And within 2 minutes, she said very dejectedly, "Wait a minute, the prize giving is this evening." And I said, "No, don't say that. No, please don't say that." Because right away my mind raced to this individual not telling us, not even having the decency to tell us that the prize given was that evening. I checked for myself, and there he was, collecting $15,000 on a trophy, collecting $15,000 on a trophy for the best feature film of that film festival. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to put yourself in our position. How would you feel if that happened to you? That you give this gentleman an opportunity to showcase his talent, at the same time help your nation. The project wins a prize. He sneaks off to the prize giving and never said a word. To make matters worse, he collected $15,000 and a trophy. Or, let me rephrase that, he said he never collected it. All he got was a trophy. To this date, he never admitted getting that $15,000. And I could share with you an email that Natasha wrote, again, to the Trinidad and Tobago, this time to Creative TT, 31st May 2016. Morning, my name is Natasha Nunez, and I am on the team of executive producers of the local film Trafficked, which won the Best Local Feature Award at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival 2015 in September last year. We are preparing a report for the sponsors of the film, including the Ministry of Trade and Industry, under whose purview Creative TT falls. We understand that the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company was a sponsor of that particular prize. Having not been informed whether the prize monies, $15,000, have been disbursed, we wondered if you would be willing to divulge that information so we may include it in the report to the ministry and the numerous other sponsors who generously contributed to Trafficked's production costs. We are compiling an income and expenditure statement to accompany the report, so the information would be very valuable. You may contact the undersigned. Regards, Natasha. This was 31st May 2016. To this date, not a response, not an even acknowledgement to let us know if this prize money was paid out. What we didn't know as well is that to enter a film in International Film Festival, I don't know about Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, you must sign a contract. you must sign as copyright owner. Now this is what started all the brouhaha, ladies and gentlemen, because Mr. Hodgkinson was entering this film, and to give you a figure, at 20 film festivals, signing as copyright owner. We didn't know that. As a matter of fact, when we realized after that prize-giving ceremony where he went without telling us, and I confronted him, and of course he cries on cue and he broke down and so on, etc., etc., he never said that he was signing as copyright owner. Now to do that, there must be some legal representation. You can't just do that on your own. Mr. Hodgkinson, we took him to a lawyer. The lawyer, although he knew he was already signing as copyright owner without telling us. So he pretended to go to that meeting like he cared about signing and legally separating us, when he knew already he was already breaking the law. Now, let's look at professionalism. This document here is from the Caribbean Tales Film Festival. This is a film festival in Canada. This is when we found out that he was signing as copyright owner of the film. We wrote to them when we weren't hearing from them. This was in June 10th, 2016. And requesting if we had entered the film, Sean had entered the film, and we just wanted to know if it was accepted, what is the latest update. They responded immediately saying that they apologized, that they did not include us in the contract that was sent to Mr. Hodgkinson. However, here is a copy of the contract. Immediately, within 5 minutes. And it's when we received this contract, then we realized what was going down. This was 20 film festivals later. And just to give you a brief, thank you for submitting your film to the 2016 Caribbean Tales Film International Film Festival. We are incredibly excited to inform you that your film Trafficked has been selected as an official selection of the 11th edition of this festival. Congratulations. The film screens, and they give the time and date of the screening, etc. Now, there is a copyright warranty which says, I hereby state that I own the copyright to the film I am representing, or I have been granted the legal authority by the copyright holder to submit this film for the festival's exhibition, and indemnify the Caribbean Tales International Film Festival and all its employees, contractors, and volunteers of any damages relating to the copyright of the film. Now, this is a professional contract. And of course, it goes on to say, in order to preserve the integrity of the festival, I understand that it's strictly required of acceptance of the festival, that it will not broadcast anywhere else, etc., etc. The point I'm making here, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is the contract, this is the signature, right there, signing as copyright owner. Now, you'll tell yourself that people would refuse to cooperate with us. I'm sure if we asked the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival or something like this, they would not have even acknowledged receipt. But the International Film Festival, however, saw the gravity of what was taking place, and they responded immediately. And I thank them for that. This is how we knew he was signing as copyright owner. And this is where we started getting lawyer letters, legal letters, etc., etc. This went on until this year, ladies and gentlemen. It was all about money. Money, money, money. When we started negotiating with TV6, I will share that with you, for it to go on television, of course he wanted to go to another station, and I said to him, you have to be crazy. Marcia Henville worked at TV6, and the best place to launch this is at TV6. If you love her so much, TV6, we insisted. So we started negotiating with TV6, Lisa and Rhonda, via email with us. We met with them at first, and then via email we corresponded with them. And he was upset at the offer from TV6, which was a substantial amount for us anyhow, because, as I said, we didn't go into this for profit. And he kept negotiating and bargaining and haggling for money. And we were all copied in these emails with TV6. Rhonda and Lisa were witnesses. When I realized that it was going on for too long, I took TV6 out of him and I said to him, listen, this is going on too long. Let us get to the point here. When he realized that I was not backing down, because I didn't care if TV6 wanted to give us $2, I wanted this on air. And I said to him in an email, and I copied TV6 back in it, and I said, look, because he started complaining about the money, and how is this going to split up, and I said to him, look, if the money is the problem, you take all. If the money is the problem, you have it. Let's just get this on television. And then I sent him an email that Saturday morning. I said, good morning. Personally, I think I have betrayed all the women who are sitting in prison and the ones who are about to enter prison. All this haggling over returns from the airing of this important message defeats the purpose in the first place. I personally would like to get this over with. The victims are more important to us, my wife and I. My decision is 6 months, and as for the money, Quirky Films can have it. Because again, I promised the National Security Ministry that the film was not profitable and I wasn't going to fight for any money. Ladies and gentlemen, this went on for quite a while, and Mr. Hodgkinson still insisted that the film was his. From various letters from his lawyer, the idea was his. He came up with the entire thing. He got all the funding. He was the mastermind behind the whole project. Try as we may, we couldn't reach him and his attorney to just give us our film and move on. We are not taking away from the fact that he's the director of the film. Yes, he is. Not taking that away from him at all. The actors did a fantabulous job conveying this message. But we needed to move on. There are so many things that I can tell you, but to sum it up, he decided that we slandered his name, defamation, love to use these words. And I said, okay then, well, let's go to court. They changed their mind and they reached out for mediation. That was this year, earlier this year. We met at the Hugh Wooding Law School in a meeting before the mediation. I don't know why that was necessary. But we met at a meeting before. And it's at that meeting we realized that this individual just cares about himself and his pocket. And when you're talking about gaslighting and narcissism, at its very best is that gentleman. Because at one time he made me feel that we were doing something wrong, really. Honestly, I felt that we were doing something to this guy when we weren't doing a thing. What he wanted at that meeting, and he said it, that there are 3 distribution deals to be signed. And I said, really? Even though we told him that National Security already has a document signed with my name saying that the film is not for profit. As executive producers, we have that authority. And we insist that the film will not be for profit. As a matter of fact, all the profits that we've gotten from the film were shown by IMAX, TV6. He even got a charity done as well. All the profits went to him. I have a letter from the school where the school principal addressed to the Ministry of National Security confirming that a charity was done for her school. I have that information as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I realized at that meeting, no matter what I say, his attorney, him, and even our attorney, so-called, still cannot understand that this film was done to educate you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and it was not done for us to make money, and we are sticking to that. In my hands here, we have decided that you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, paid for this. This is sponsors in the back here, state agencies, government ministries. This money did not come from my pocket, nor Sean Hodgkinson's pocket. It came from your pocket, you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This film. We've decided today that this DVD, whether the edited or unedited version, will be yours for free. Let me repeat. You, the taxpayer, we are not selling DVDs. And even if we wish, because the charities that we are working with have not gotten a cent from this. Even the women who we interviewed, 2 of them are back home. Yes, the 2 remaining ones, they are back in Trinidad and Tobago. They're not working. We interviewed one already. She lost her job because they found out what happened to her. This, any profit that will derive from this, would go to them. Serenity Place Enhancement Center for Women, the In-Transit Center at Vision and Mission for Women, Rebirth House, St. James Police Youth Club. These are the people that we wanted to benefit from a project such as this, not my wife and I. And it is unfortunate that he refuses to understand that. So we decided, if he is sure that he can go to court and stand up to the scrutiny even of the women, from the women that we interviewed for this movie, then he's free to do that. This film is yours, and from today, you can contact us on our Dependency Facebook page, and a copy of this DVD will be yours for free. This is not a trick, this is not a joke. This will be given to you for free because you paid for it. And it is high time that people in this industry understand that they cannot do and have their way as they wish all the time. I agree the guy is talented to some measure, but when you're working your way up, do it honestly. Our last 15 years on air, we've never conned anyone. We've undertaken projects that we've accounted for. Government give us funding, and we reported on it and accounted for the spend. But this project remains in limbo. And if any ministry wishes to check the accounts department, they will see sums of money that were made out to this person's, the director of this film, made out to him. So you want to account on the money, go to him. We can account for the ones that we got. From everyone. Mr. Sawat LLCB, Mr. John Siller, Ms. West, everybody there, NSB have been very good to us. FCB have been very good to us. Toyota have been very good to us. And the government ministries mentioned, they all have been good to us. So once again, you would like to have a copy of this DVD that you, the taxpayer, paid for, it is your right to have it. We would also like to thank Ingrid Jahara IMAX and the people at Digicel IMAX for when all other cinema houses turned their backs on us, they were there for us and they showed this film for 2 weeks. It's unfortunate that you had to stop showing it because of this individual who felt that Digicel Play was in the background advertising and he didn't like that. Sean Hodgkinson has no authority on this film other than to say, fill the gaps that he filled in the film, we give him that. But he got the entire story from us, and go again on the Dependency Facebook page or my Facebook profile and you would see him in his own words saying where he got the movie from, where he got the idea from, who he got it from. That's one of the times that he spoke the truth. Again, I apologize, but this is the kind of things that forces foreign entities especially to not fund projects in Trinidad and Tobago because of these kind of corrupt activities. They despise corruption. And let me tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, in some regards, some citizens are very infamous for being very corrupt. We just returned from London again, and we had to hear it again from some officials there. And I even had to say to one gentleman, sir, not every Trinbagonian is a corrupt person. And this is someone who worked with the Special Anti-Crime Unit when we had him here. He is a British law enforcement officer. I'm not making this up, it's the truth. And with all the negative stuff that's going on in Trinidad and Tobago right now, with all the bad things that are happening, there must be some shining light among all of this. The reason we did this is to save lives. We believe in the educational value of this. Atlantic LNG, Did they sell MyMax? They did too, but they eventually had to stop because of this controversy. It comes to an end today. And as I said to you, if Mr. Hodgkinson feels that he could defend this and he wants to take us to court, feel free to do that. We are willing and ready to go and defend the idea for this project, where it came from and where you got the story. And you, the people who are supporting him in his duplicity, I ask you again to look at that video. And I ask myself, how could anyone see a video like that and still think we are lying on him after hearing what he said? Think about what you're doing. Think about the image of Trinidad and Tobago. And to the film festival, the film company and Creative TT, you all too are complicit. Because this has been in the public domain since 2014 to 15. You know what took place. And not one day did you all get in contact with us to find out what is the deal here, even though we reached out to you all. And I say that's very shameful, because let's say out of curiosity's sake, you're not concerned that you have a filmmaker in your midst who may take somebody's film and enter it in there knowing that it's not his? You don't care about that? That is very strange. To me, that is very, very strange. At least try to hear both sides of the story. Don't just take his side for it. Suppose he's lying to you. So what, you're waiting until somebody sue you for showing a film that somebody, not even him or anybody, enter into your festival that is not theirs? I say, I'm ashamed of you where that is concerned. I'm totally disappointed, because this has been in the public domain for quite a while. And not one day, you folks at the film festival, Creative TT, or the film company choose to reach out to us. That to me is very strange. And to protect the integrity of your film festival, you should cover all your bases. If you have a contract with people to sign, I don't even know if you have one, because we never saw one. Once again, I apologize to all the people who felt aggrieved by all this bacchanal and confusion that was going on with this film. But Trinidad and Tobago, this film is yours. You will have a copy. Each ministry will get 20 copies. Each of the sponsored ministry will get 20 copies each. 10 of the edited, 10 of the unedited version. I don't know how we're doing it, because we spent so much money behind lawyers already that we have to get the money now to produce these DVDs. We have to, and we will. That is what we promised the sponsors. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will have a copy. We will put this online so that you can download it for free. And finally, it will end up on YouTube, where anyone can access it. You, the taxpayer, paid for it. You have a right to access it when you want. Thank you very much. And as I go, we prepare more stories that we just returned from London with that will even blow your mind even further. It's a pity that this guy couldn't see this film as the one to pay it forward and the others to make money. He wanted all the money right away. Well, he got the money and then some. It is time for you now to get your product. Have a good afternoon. May God bless you all. And may God continue to bless Trinidad and Tobago, and hope we can pull ourselves and get rid of some of the negatives that continue to circle our country. Thank you very much.